Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas with Ahiba Communications, and I have a quick tip for how you can get longer focal lengths and possibly even variable focal lengths for your iPhone and for filmmaking or multi-camera live switch solutions. What I'm going to talk about here is a solution that is available. It's been promoted before, but a lot of people aren't aware of it because it's kind of like off to the side a little bit. A lot of people talk about doing this when you're doing filmmaking by taking a DSLR lens and using a ground glass in front of your cell phone and then having your cell phone shoot the glass. So you get the shallow depth of field as if you had a full frame camera, but you're shooting it with your cell phone. Now that's great for filmmaking. If you're doing cell phone filmmaking, you add this contraption and you have the ability to get that shallow depth of field that is really cool. But you can also leverage it if you are doing multi-camera live production and you need to reach far away. If you need to change your focal length optically, not with the digital zoom, but with an optical zoom. You can leverage that same technology to get the solution. Now, this is not a really cheap solution. This is not like buying a cheap little thing off of Amazon. But for someone who needs to do this because they're doing this regularly, they're doing this weekly, several times a week, and it's part of their business, then what this does is this enables that capability and gives them a feature set that they did not have before. So what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to flip this camera around. This is the view from where I'm standing to across the street. I got a little fog in my throat. You can see that it's pretty far away, and that's an iPhone 6 view. And here is another view. This is from an SE. Now this SE, this is not the native view of the SE. This is the SE through a DSLR lens. And the really nice thing about doing it this way is that I can, as I talk to you, I can slowly zoom this shot in optically. Now, focus might be a little soft because I'm looking at this on a tiny little, like 1.5 inch little video window on my iPhone 6. So I'm not able to see super detailed what the bricks look like unless you're looking at this on a computer and you get it zoomed out to the full screen of the computer, then you're seeing way more detail than I am. But the nice thing is that that's a really good reach when you compare it to my view from the cell phone. Now, they say with the cell phone, I should be able to, oops, I should be able to, let me turn the zoom on, zoom in. So 1, 2, 3, 1.4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 2. So that's a 3x zoom. Why is it not stabilized? Well, oh, okay. So that's a 3x zoom on the iPhone 6. And let me go back to the optical zoom on the SE. So you can see it's a vastly different type of look. It's a vastly different type of solution. And honestly, you still have the digital zoom on the SE. So you can take this and go 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. So that's 2x, or maybe that's 2.1 on the SE. And that is pretty amazing compared to where I'm actually at. So to get from here to there optically and with a little digital zoom. And then of course when you are this close, you can digitally zoom it back out. 3, 2, 1, 0. And then I can take the optical zoom and slowly pull it back. Now the downside is many still lenses are not what we call parfocal. And what that means is the lens itself is not designed to hold focus through the whole zoom range. It's designed to zoom, focus, take a picture. Zoom, focus, take a picture. What we're asking it to do is to zoom, is to focus and be able to zoom back and forth and keep the focus. That's called parfocal. Not all DSLR lenses are parfocal. This one I think is pretty close. It looks pretty good, again, on this tiny little cell phone screen that I'm using. But there are lenses out there that are more parfocal and others that are less. So that when you start zooming, it's just going to go way out of focus. And that lens, obviously, is not going to be a great solution for you. Also, because you're using these lenses in a completely passive way, there's no electric power to them, you don't have image stabilization, you don't have aperture control, you don't have autofocus. You have to do all this manually. So finding a good manual lens is going to be key to making this type of solution work. Now, let's take a look at what I've got here. So if this is something that you need, you can source all the pieces together for yourself. Let me flip this around again. Okay, so over here I have my iPhone SE. Where's my finger? iPhone SE. Let's dismiss that. And it is in an iOgrapher case, which is one of the many cases that are out there. They all have a standard thread mount up here. You can choose a Beastgrip. You can choose all different kinds of things. And in front of that, I actually do have the Beastgrip optical adapter. Beastgrip is one of 3 that I know about. Tourniquet is another one, and I have seen a third one. So what this does is this takes a DSLR lens, focuses it on a piece of glass here, and then macros it down to fit onto the iOgrapher case. So there's the iOgrapher case, which everybody is familiar with. And then you've got your step-ups, and then you've got the Beastgrip, and then you've got this Nikon piece of glass on the front. So this is an 80 to 200, and what it lets me do is when I slowly zoom the shot, it's very smooth. Another advantage to a long telephoto like this is they often have their own foot for mounting, so it gives you a nice balanced, the weight of the camera. The Beastgrip is pretty light, and the weight of the lens, it's all held fairly well. Let's see if I can get the iris up here. It's all held fairly well right here. That exposure manual, I'm gonna try to get it a little brighter so that you can see how this works here. And it also helps that there's an issue with rotating everything so that the ground glass matches the camera, and then you put the lens on, and of course where the lens sits in relation to all that might be some wonky angle, and by being able to loosen a screw here, I can rotate the whole assembly so that it is level, so that I make the glass level to the horizon and not really worry about how this lens wants to sit. So maybe these numbers would normally be over here or over here, I don't know. So I've only used it here. And this lens is very smooth. It's mostly parfocal. It's been used for cinema, so it has these extra teeth on top. And it's a bit of a beast. It is fairly heavy, and it's something that, if you've got a mobile run and gun type of setup, this is probably not going to be your solution. But if you have something regular that you can leave this in place or leave it in a control room, or if you absolutely need to get a shot from far away, this is going to be able to give you that shot, and it lets you adjust the focal length. Now, I'm not saying this particular lens, I'm saying some DSLR lens that you may have access to, or you can purchase used on eBay. That way you can decide, well, we need a really, really long lens, or we don't need one so long, but we need more wide, because being an 80 to 200, it's about a 4X, and it's not the widest thing out there, but realistically, wide is not as challenging for iPhones as long is. And that's what I really wanted to present as a solution here today, is how to get that long shot. Because I know people have a challenge, they have multiple cameras, they have different views, and they want to have that one straight on shot, but where they need to put the camera, especially if there's an audience, ends up being way back here, but they still want to get close. So you could either take the phone and put it on a discrete little tripod really close, and it'll, you know, be in the field of view, but kind of unobtrusive, or you can do this, which will get you far back and be able to zoom in really far up too. So that's been my look at the Beastgrip 35mm adapter for iPhones to enable iPhones to reach long distances and get high quality cinema looking shots, because it's made for filmmaking, but it gives multi-camera producers the ability to have that long lens capability. My name is Anthony Barocas with IEBA Communications. Thanks for watching.